So let's start. My name is Professor Pereira, and I speak from the Public Health School of the Minas Gerais state in Brazil. And the theme of today is pharmacopollution, trends over time. Pharmacopollution, it's a social and economic phenomenon related to the dispersion of active pharmaceutical compounds through environment. This presentation is mainly based on the study Pharmacopollution and Household Waste Medicine, how reverse logistics is environmentally important to Brazil. That was published on Environmental and Pollution Research. And it defines the pharmacopollution phenomenon. And we will see here which type of phenomenon is this, how it affects us, and the state of art in publishing about this subject. We have many documented cases of pharmacopollution through environment, and it's quite disturbing to wonder how it affects many of the water bodies, such as the surface water, in some countries, the tap water and the underground water. And we can find active pharmaceutical compounds and the disruptive endocrine compounds through the environment. As we can see on the top of the screen, many animals are affected by these active pharmaceutical compounds on the environment. The fluoxetine decreases the mobility of a fish and the food intake of some fish. The fluoxetine, estrogen, and ciprofloxacin, many common medicines we use often in our society. And in Asia, it's documented the decrease of the population of local bird, due to diclofenac dispersed through environment. So, considering the increasing amount of medicine societies are, considering the increase of the pharmaceutical market and the discovery of many new active pharmaceutical compounds, discard the dispersion of active pharmaceutical compounds through environment are expected to increase. Even that we can see in studies the effects of active pharmaceutical compounds so far, we haven't seen at all the effects. It's an increasing problem that we will face considering the world population are increasing and the amount of medicine use are increasing too. So considering all the humans use medicine, we are a polluting machine with many small. But what is pharmacopollution? Pharmacopollution is related, as I said, to a more important group, that is the emerging contaminants, such as steroid hormones, pharmaceutical and personal care products, industrial chemicals, and pests. Some authors hold together the pharmacopollution with the household micropollutants as a group of study, such as PPCP, metabolites and EDCs, illicit drugs, and trace organic contaminants, and also have the same path of dispersion of microplastic. Microplastic took the discussion on media because the number of studies increased. So are expected the same with the pollution of active pharmaceutical compounds. But how it is its origin? This pollution, the pharmacopollution, related mainly to the discharge in an improper way of household medicines that we use have two main household-related source pathways. The first one, when we take medicines, we excrete part of them. Not all are absorbed. So it's a pathway of dispersion, the discard on the toilet, mainly through urine and feces. The second pathway are related to the discard, the way the leftovers of medicine are discarded. And the main paths are toilet and sinks, the improper way to litter medicines, toilets and sinks, and the household waste. The household waste is not the proper way to discard medicines. Medicines are not unharmful waste, such as the household waste. As we can see in the image on screen, the patient, the household generator of medicines, the pharmacopollution generator, are the main source of this kind of pollution, as shown on the study at the beginning of the presentation. Livestock and aquaculture, pharmaceutical industry, healthcare facilities are not the main source of this pollution, but the households are. The household patients are, due to the volume. Each patient, each household discards a small amount of active pharmaceutical compounds, but the amount of people, the amount of houses, derivatives brings a huge amount that causes this kind of pollution. And in many countries, such as Brazil and many developing countries, the medicines are offered, are sold on pharmacies on established amount and not the right amount to be used. For example, when you must use antibiotics in Brazil, we must buy 20 pills. Even when you must use only 14, you buy 20 and you have 6 leftovers. So it's very common in many countries. And the one most important way to diminish this amount is the rational use, when the patient receives the just right amount of medicines for his or her treatment. But it's what we see very often. On this screen, we can see on this image, we can see how on ResearchGate, I took ResearchGate as an example of how this subject is increasing in interest and in research, and it's the trends we are focusing here. As we can see on blue are the 23 number of articles published about active pharmaceutical and its pollution, and the number of articles in 2024. And at the same time, the number of articles are increasing. So the next article I'm writing, it's about to evaluate and set the state of the art of these newly articles published, and to see how often, where, and how is this studies going to. And when we comparing 23 to 25, we passed the 23 year with few studies, one by year published. But by the end of 2024, the number of articles with the subject are increasing. And in this year, we have many published articles with that. And by July 2025, the number of articles published achieved 100 59 articles. So it's a very hot trend by this year, since the last year. And another interesting metric, it's the conference papers of this. The number of that are also increasing. As you can see, it's a rising number, and also express how it is and how the trending that is coming to. And it's very important to be discussed and studied, considering there are many economical interests on this subject, and the destinations are not a consensus about to implementation of take-back programs. As we can see on this study on the top of the screen, in Brazil, 52% of the leftovers are literate, and 32 discarded on the sink or toilet. It's quite the same as in US. We see a different scenario in Europe, but in Middle East as quite the situation it's not that good. The 97% of the household waste is literate. So higher the amount of medicine waste literate or discarded in the sink or toilet, higher the number of episodes and evidence of dissipation of active pharmaceutical compounds through environment. All this situation and all these worries in Brazil led to a national reverse logistics program that covers all Brazil. And Brazil has continental extension, the continental territory. It's quite interesting study, case study to be observed. It was settled by 2020 and obliges all pharmacies to have a special place for leftovers. And all pharmacies must do take-back programs. And the National Environmental Ministry coordinates those programs and establishes rules and makes studies to understand the amount of that. Brazil is the fourth biggest pharmaceutical market in the world. So here, medicines can be easily bought on pharmacies. Many of them. And it's not just the common, such as painkillers or vitamins. We can buy many medicines here without a prescription. So it's very interesting case study about this. How easy and how Brazilians have the medicines as a symbol of health, and how we are increasing the using of medicines. It's a way to many human conditions, even when you may use other alternatives to solve some, for example, psychic problems, sufferings, psychic sufferings, such as exercises or community activities or hobbies or any other things. Most people here just use medicines for example, psychic suffering. Those are the numbers of the reverse logistics program in Brazil. It was established in 2020, and the first year of its full operation was 2021. In blue, we can see the number of stations to recoil leftovers, and the line represents the amount in kilograms of medicine that was recoiled. In 2021, we have 37,000 stations and 3,000 kilograms recover, and it is increasing. In 2023, we achieved so far the biggest amount, 6,000 kilograms and 429,000 kilograms of medicines recoil. So, and it's not even a fraction of what would be needed because it's so this program, but it presents how is important a national take-back program. Brazil is known as one of the countries with the biggest amount of water that can drinkable water, and we have not a protection of drinking water as we should, but at least about active pharmaceutical compounds. The National Reverse Logistics Program are achieving some very interesting results. As worker from the National Public Health System at the Public Health School of Minas Gerais State, we are disseminating this knowledge because it's important for us to tarnish the side effects of this dispersion. And we work through the anthropology approach about to change the moral values of people about this, how it affects people, and how everybody are responsible to take back the medicine, the leftovers of medicines. It's not just a common and regular litter. We must do our part. I would like to thank all of you about this opportunity to speak about this theme.